I'm live. How's everyone doing? I am doing a Facebook Live today. I have some couple of interesting subjects and topics to talk about. Anyways, I'm just waiting to see who all is jumping online right now. Let's see. We are 34. Hey, Joe, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Hey, Todd. Let's see. So what I wanted to talk about is the article that I shared on my Facebook. Hey, Donnie. The article states there were 277 people that were arrested for human trafficking. They actually went to buy children, and they found out that there were doctors and police officers that were involved. That's an article I posted earlier today, and then I just posted a missing girl who is from Midwest City, Oklahoma. She was last seen on Friday near Nakoma Park in Oklahoma. There's also one of the things that I wanted to talk to everyone about is mainly how are we talking to our kids? How are we establishing communication with our children when it comes to these apps? We're finding out about 10 years ago, kids used to associate through Backpage, Craigslist, and now it's through these apps. And so I think it's really important that we really stress the communication process with these apps. The girl's name is Jane Greenhouse, I believe, but she goes by Shania. Anyways, she was last missing on Friday in Midwest City, Oklahoma, and supposedly she's been chatting with this guy who is her new boyfriend, and even her best friend was not aware of the communication, and neither were the parents. One of the things that I think that we need to start talking with our kids. I was the type of kid, I remember when I was younger. Hey, David, how are you? Thank you for joining us. And feel free to ask me any questions or things that you want me to elaborate more on. I'd be happy to, answer any questions. So anyway, going back to communication, one of the things that I know for me, when I was younger, whenever my parents would tell me, you can't do that, I would always ask why. I wanted to know. The old saying of, hold on, Roxy, no, sorry, my cat's in here. Anyway, here's Roxy. Hey. So one of the things that I would strongly suggest is to talk to your kids, tell them what's going on, and if you want to utilize me as a reference, feel free to share my story with your kids. Tell them about, my situation, what had happened, even though I was 19, but this girl is 16 and she's missing, and there's a possibility that she may have been coerced to join this new boyfriend into Texas. We don't have any photos or any information regarding the supposed boyfriend, but I think it's really important that we establish that communication. And the other thing is, what do we talk to our kids when it comes to, do we even have a conversation about human trafficking? Do we even have a conversation about the people around us? And we have learned that in the 80s, we used to believe in the stranger danger. And then now that we've learned that most of the perpetrators are people we know or we establish a relationship with. Whenever I would hear parents say to me, oh, I don't let them do that, my question is, when you tell your kids that they're not allowed to get online or they're not allowed to chat with anyone, do you have a follow-up plan? Hey, Heather, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. Hey, Adriana. Hi, Char. One of the things that I would question is that when you tell your kids, not to talk on this chat, do you elaborate why they're not allowed to? Or do you elaborate on what possibilities there are? I have learned how to do the Snapchat, so I do find it, really intriguing and fun to go on there and take some selfies and things like that. But there's also that chat component. That's the other thing that we need to talk about. As far as teenage kids or people or kids that you mentor that that does not have a close relationship with their family or their parent or guardian, you can actually be the mentor. You can actually help them and explain to them about these different apps and how some of these perpetrators disguise themselves as boyfriends or girlfriends or even friends that actually care about these potential victims. The other thing is, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and she said to me that she wanted the attention. She wanted, to be known. She had low self-esteem. I know that for me, I was at that point as well. And one of the things that, the other thing that I know that when we have fallen to low self-esteem, I think it's really important to recognize, that low self-esteem from someone that we love, our children, kids that we're mentoring. I had someone ask a question regarding a 14-year-old boy who was lured and groomed by an 18-year-old boy through the online video game network in the UK, and his mother went on to create an educational program for parents about the use of social media and online gaming. That is very true. When my son was about 12 or 13, he wanted to actually go on Microsoft Live. That meant he get to meet new people online while he's playing video games. For me, I did not allow that to happen. I told my son that for the video live chat that it was not appropriate at that time. When he wanted to know why, what I had my son do, we actually did a lot of research regarding not just human trafficking, but just missing and exploited children. We went on that website together. We learned so much. At that time, he was 12 years old. I do know that there are some parents who are very delicate in wanting to educate their kids about certain dangers. You don't have to share the obscene information, but it is very important to share that, to share your kids the dangers and things that we need to talk about. And what you may assume that these kids don't know, I guarantee you a lot of times they know a lot more than they are letting on. And so I want to thank Dismay for bringing up about the gaming. That is also really important, because now with the gaming system, from the tablets, the phone, the PS2, along with any type of gaming system, when you allow your kids to go online, make sure you know who they are chatting with. Talk to them about it. Even if you do allow them to go on there to play games, make sure that they're playing games where you are around, not in the next room. And make sure that you become very vigilant into listening to their conversation. That's the other thing. You want to be able to ask them questions, but you don't want to interrogate your kids. What you want to do is you want to ask them, like, who is that you were talking to? It's important to be engaged with your children and what they're doing as well. The other thing is about the, this goes along with the article and the missing girl. And so it's really important that we raise awareness, but we do it in a way to establish an important communication, and that we share our concerns. There's nothing wrong in saying, I'm worried that someone else is going to talk to you that is not who they say they are. I think another great show to watch, if you guys have access to MTV, I'm sure they have this online. If you Google it, it's called Catfish. Even just people just looking for dates are finding out that they're chatting with someone that is not who they claim to be. So I think that's really important. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the hearts. I saw that earlier, and I apologize I didn't mention it sooner. It really means a lot to me that you guys have joined me into viewing this and to share about the steps in the intervention. But one of the things I like to do is continue to engage, with every one of you, and to talk about different formats of communication. How do you communicate your kids? What worked? What didn't work? I can share from my personal experience what didn't work for me when I was a kid, what didn't work for me as a parent, and what worked for me as a parent. I think it's really, really important, to talk about communication, because people can have a dialogue, but are they communicating? Are they listening? Are parents listening to what the kids are saying? Are you understanding different slangs? It's really important to be engaged in your children's life. And one of the things I would strongly suggest as well is spend some time with your child. Not just an hour, but spend a whole day. Go shopping. The other thing is, one of the things that I want to, definitely raise awareness on, this is not just happening to girls, this is also happening to boys. Even female perpetrators can or have the ability to hunt male victims as well. It can also be the opposite sex, just like male traffickers or pimps may lure young girls. Adult women or older girls can lure young boys. They can say, hey, you know what? If you want to be the next rap star, if you want to be an actor, I can help you with that. Come with me. But a lot of times these are not legitimate producers and whatnot. They would be able to say, I've got a film studio. I can help you do this. I can help you get launched in this way. So these are things to watch out for. One of the other thing is if they don't show their credentials. That's another thing. I had a conversation yesterday with someone over the phone, and he was telling me, and this had nothing to do with human trafficking, but just the mere fact that he was telling me that he's starting a business. He hasn't even got the page yet, or even the social media set up. Yet he was about to hire someone to monitor his social page, his Facebook page, to become a marketer, but he hasn't got anything started. So then I started asking him, have you been able to verify who she is and what she represents? And he said, yes, she did social media for a restaurant, but have you read the reviews? Have you seen their Facebook page? And he said, no, I have not. And so these are things that we need to check, not just on the hiring perspective, but also when we're engaging with other people. Thank you, David, so much for the feedback. I'm going to continue doing this and sharing tidbits, on what you can do. And then I will be doing a class shortly as well. And I'm also giving another class on how to write your story, how to launch it, how to publish your own book, as well as how to submit your story into a script or into filmmaking. And so right now we're doing early registration. It's $850 for 90 days. And so that's about 3 months worth of information and tips that I'll be sharing you from my own experience, having to launch Eden, to launching my book, and having to tour, even in France, London, things like that. One of the things that I want to say, give a shout out to my friend Kenneth Kariba. Hola, I miss you. Let me know when you come back to Dallas so that way we can get together. I apologize, my dystonia is acting up today, so please forgive me on that. However, my friend Donnie had made a comment. It comes down to being a parent, realizing the world we now live in, and I realize not all children are a privilege to having a loving and nurturing parent. I'm curious what your thoughts might be on the possible legislation that would make it mandatory that all schools would be at some point to discuss this very topic. And that's a very good question. As far as legislation goes, I know that the National Missing and Exploited Children and Human Trafficking Task Force have been approaching schools. I have tried to approach schools, but there are some schools that are very hesitant. As far as making it mandatory, that's a whole nother question that I may have to actually talk to an attorney about. If there's anyone that is an attorney that would like to answer that, please feel free. Otherwise, in the meantime, I can look that up, do the research, and I can get back to you, and I can get back to you on Facebook Live, so that way everyone else has the information. Other than that, I have some things coming up. I'm doing a holiday sale. I'm going to wrap up here momentarily, but I posted the picture of the missing girl. If anyone has seen her, please contact the numbers, the Midwest City Sheriff Department, and also the Human Trafficking Hotline. It's really important that we find these girls and bring them home. Thank you for the love. Also, like I said, I'm doing a class. It's early registration, $850, and then after November 1st, it'll be $997. It's a 90-day course. So I'll be doing Facebook Live for 90 days to teach you all how to write your story, how to outline it, and how to begin, especially those who have a personal story that they want to share. It's very different than writing fiction. And then I will also teach you the steps and how to turn your story into a screenplay and how you can submit it, what is marketable, what isn't marketable. And so we'll be sharing a lot of that. The other thing is I'm doing a special holiday sale, and starting on November 1st, this book for autographed version will be on sale for $15. And so we will take our last payment on November 17th, and all shipments and orders will be sent out after the 20th. So for a limited time, from November 1st through the 17th, this book will be on sale for $50. One of the things that I want to share with you in here, I'm going to share some of the things that I went through. I'm going to do a small reading of an excerpt. This is the first 24 hours, and this is in my book. The door to the van rolled up with a crunch of its wheels, and I immediately heard sniffling sound outside. My heart started to palpitate with fear and anxiety and began to get the best of me. I was quaking and barely able to walk. I was now blindfolded, in the addition to that damned potato sack still pulled over my head. I was tugged out of the van and deliberately moved and made to stand on a specific spot as if on cue for a movie set. The roughness of the sack scratched across my skin, and then it was gone. The blindfold was taken away as well, and the gift of sight was returned to me. I flickered my eyes around, waiting to see and know where I was, but I also knew if I moved too quickly or jerked around, I'd be beaten or screamed at or something worse. From what I could see, I was standing in front of a line of various different girls. They were all cramped together, standing up against a wall in a submission position. Their hands were deliberately at their sides, heads bowed down as though they were expecting us. We were in a storage unit of some sort. It was drab concrete and without any detail other than assertedly being a warehouse or other storage unit for holding bulk cargo. That was us. My heart sank even further. The two men who escorted me to the unit shoved me in and said this was my new home. So if you want to learn a little bit more, I read the chapter 5 in trafficking. And so if you want to learn more, if you want to utilize my books to educate, and like I said, I don't know if you've seen some of my posts in the past week. I had posted small little tidbits about that. I used to be a female pimp. I used to hunt. They taught me how to hunt. They taught me what to look for, how to look for vulnerabilities. So now I'm utilizing all of that to teach parents, teens, and even college students, and anyone who needs to learn about what to look for, the behavioral patterns, as well as their MO. Hey, Bina, how are you doing? Hey, Peter, thank you for joining me. It means so much. Thank you for the shout out on my book. And just so you know, anyone who buys my book, 30% will go to a nonprofit. If you have a specific nonprofit that you'd like for it to go to, please let me know. And what I can do is I can send you a box of books, and then you can sell it and then be able to help that nonprofit. Other than that, we're running out of time. I don't want to stay too long, but feel free to share this video